परमंश परिव्राजकाचार्य सुतर सदस्यमान भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। आनंद कोटि वैष्णव की जय। रामाचार्य श्री रविदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवाठ आदि गौ भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपिनाथ श्याम कुंज राधा कुंज की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। यमुना माई की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। नववेद भक्तवृंद की जय। All glories to their Srimad. All glories to their Srimad. All glories to their Srimad. Thank you very much.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajarshayo Vidu Kalena Iha Mahata Yoga Nashta Parantapa Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajarshayo Vidu Sakalene Mahata Yogo Nashta Parantapa Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajarshayo Vidu Sakalene Mahata Yogo Nashta Parantapa Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajarshayo Vidu Sakalene Mahata Yogo Nashta Parantapa Evam Das Parampara Disciplic succession Praptam Receive Imam This science Rajarshaya The saintly kings Vidu Understood Saha That knowledge Kalena In the course of time Iha In this world Mahata By grace Yoga The science of one's relationship with the Supreme Nashtaha Scattered Parantapa O Arjuna, subduer of the enemy Translation This supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost.
Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajarshayo Vidu Sakalena Iha Mahata Yoga Nashta Parantapa. So, the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, how it has to be received, that is explained here. It is not to be understood by so-called scholarship. In the Vedic literature we find Nam Atma Pravachanena Labhya Na Medhaya Na Bahuna Sutena. If you actually interested in Atma Gyan, self-realization, then you cannot understand by your so-called academic education. No. Nayam Atma Pravachan, or because you are a big speaker, you can speak very nicely, decorating language, therefore you have understood. That is also not possible. The spiritual knowledge has to be understood by the grace of the Supreme Spirit. Jami Vaishara Vinite Tena Labha. One who is favored by the Supreme. Here Krishna, the Supreme Being, God, he is explaining about himself. So you have to learn about God or Krishna from Krishna or through the parampara. As Krishna says, Emang parampara. Parampara means Krishna explained the knowledge, Vedic knowledge, to Lord Brahma. Adikaya. Janmadasya jata annayati taratascha artheshu abhigga sarat tene Brahma rida. The spiritual knowledge, Brahma Vidya, Sabda Brahma. The Vedic knowledge, just like in the Bhagavad Gita, the words written in this book, Bhagavad Gita, although it appears like ordinary letters, they are not like that. It is Vedic vibration. The things which are being spoken by Krishna, they are not ordinary language. Had it been ordinary language, how? Because it was written 5,000 years ago, how it is still going on. There are many literatures written by great poets within 200 years, 300 years, or say thousands of years. They are being forgotten. But therefore, the character of the Vedic knowledge, they are not material things. They are all spiritual. Why you are giving so much importance to the words of Krishna? Because this language is absolute. Krishna and Krishna's words, Krishna and Krishna's language, or Krishna's words, they are the same. Krishna and Krishna's form. We are worshipping Krishna's form. That is also Krishna. Otherwise, are we wasting our time by decorating a doll, a statue, and we are struggling so hard to establish a temple of Krishna? No. This science is unknown to the atheist class of men. The atheist class of men, they do not know the absolute nature of Krishna. Krishna, his name, his form, his quality, his pastimes, his instruction, anything of Krishna, that is Krishna. That is not different from Krishna. Abhinnatyad namanamina. The shastric injunction is atasya Krishna namadi nabhavet grahyam indriyai. Sevanmukhi jivhado sameva surattad. Just like we cannot understand what is Krishna, what is God, general people. They do not know because they have got blunt senses, material senses. Even in material world, we are seeing the sun every day, but we do not know how big it is. Or even if we see this motor car, a child sees, he sees that it is automatically going without any horse. He is amazed. But one who can see, he knows that there is machine, there is brain. So, this is our position, even to understand material things. We are not perfect. Our senses are not perfect. How we can understand God? That is not possible. Because we have got defects. Our senses are not perfect. I cannot see perfectly. I cannot smell perfectly. I cannot touch perfectly. I cannot hear perfectly. So many defects. I commit mistake. I become illusion. I accept something for something. In this way, our position is very imperfect. But in spite of possessing imperfect senses, people are proud of their knowledge. That is mistake. We are not concerned with imperfect knowledge. We want perfect knowledge. Therefore we are going to Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise what is the use? If it is an ordinary book, you can interpret in your own way, I can interpret it in my own way. Then what is the value of Bhagavad Gita with other books? No, it is not like that. Therefore, the words of Krishna should be understood through the devotees, perfect channel. As Krishna says, Imam vivassati yugam praktavanaham abhayam. Abhayam, it is eternal, it is spiritual. Abhayam. Abhayam means that does not perish. Anything material, it perishes. But spirit, soul, or spiritual, anything, everything, that is imperishable. Abhayam. See, knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, as Krishna is Abhayam, the spirit whole spirit, Parabrahma, Paramdhama, supreme spirit. Similarly, his words, Bhagavad Gita, is also spirit, supreme spirit. Abhinna, there is no distinction. Therefore, we are giving so much importance to the so-called scholars may take it as ordinary book, but one who is serious about Bhagavad Gita, he does not take Bhagavad Gita, the words of Bhagavad Gita, the teachings of Bhagavad Gita as ordinary teachings. This is confirmed. Therefore it is so important. And it has to be received through the parampara channel. That I was explaining. As Krishna is going to speak to Arjuna, here it is said, Saivayam mayati yoga prakta puratana. Next verse it will explain. Bhaktosi me priyosi sakachit rahasam jitad uttamam. Krishna will say, because it is so important, it is complete spiritual. Unless one is devotee. Devotee means complete spiritual. Any other one, if he is not a devotee, he is material. Karmi, Jnani, Yogi, they are all material. They are trying to utilize the material possession. Karmis, they are trying to utilize this body for happiness. Whole day, night they are working like ants for some sense gratification. Maya sukhaya bharamud bahato bimuran. Prahlad Maharaj says, these rascals, unnecessarily they are working so hard like an ass just to get a morsel of food. That's all. Unnecessary. Everyone is eating 4 chapatis, but he is working so hard like an ass. Well, ass also can get his share of food stuff anywhere. The ass is so full that he can get grass anywhere. It is for a few pieces of grass only. he is loading on his back so much burden from the washerman. He thinks that the washerman is giving me this morsel of grass. He's so foolish that he can see there are grasses so many here and there. Still he has agreed to take the burden. Therefore, he is an ass. Similarly, the karmis, you see, in Bombay there are so many karmis, they are working so hard. What is that? He is also eating less. 4 chapatis, that's all. But he does not think that 4 chapatis why I am working so hard and wasting my time. The life is meant for understanding what is my relationship with God. It is athata brahma jigyasa. This is the vision of life. What is Brahma? What is God? What I am? What is my relationship with God? And so far eating, sleeping, concerned, that is done by the cats and dogs. But the modern civilization, they are busy. Because they are busy for eating, sleeping and mating, by the laws of nature, that is also being minimized. I have already explained. Because the nature wants to help us. Because we are now forgotten soul. We have forgotten God. The animals have also forgotten God. They are thinking that this bodily concept are right. They have no knowledge. But when you come to by evolutionary process, come to the human form of life, then it is your duty to inquire about the Supreme Brahma, that is Vedanta Sutra. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Now you have to ask about Brahma, not the matter. So that Brahma is Vedic knowledge. From the material standard, gradually we have to go upwards and come to the point of understanding Krishna. That is Vedic knowledge. That is Vedic knowledge. Vedaishta sarvai ahameva vedam. To pursue Vedic knowledge means to understand Krishna. That if you do not understand Krishna, and if you speak as like so many nonsense things, and if you pose yourself as Pandit, that is srama eva hi kevalam. That is stated. Srama eva. Simply wasting time and laboring for nothing. Vasudevi Bhagavati Dharmasthana sthita pungsa Vishaksena kathasu jat Notpadaidu rating jadi Srama eva hi kevalam. Now, dharma, everyone is executing his particular occupational duty. Very nice. Brahman, Kshatri, Vaishya, Shudra. I am speaking the organized society, not this animal society as present. In organized society, a Brahman is discharging his duties just like a Brahmana, Sattva Samadama Tidikha Arjava Jnanam Vijnanam Astikam Brahma Karma Svabhavadam. Still, Dharmasthana he is very nicely executing his duty as a Brahman. But by executing such duties, if he does not develop Krishna consciousness, then Srama eva hi kevalam. This is the body. Then he has wasted time. Because to become Brahmana, perfect Brahmana, means to know Brahma, athata Brahma jigyasa. And the Parabrahma, Supreme Brahma is Krishna. So if he does not understand Krishna, then what is the use of his executing this Brahmana's duty? That is the verdict of this heart. Sarma eva hi kevalam. Simply wasting time. Therefore, one has to learn this science from the parampara system. Emang parampara. You have to go to the right person who knows Krishna. Emang parampara. Just like Surya, the Vibhashan, he was instructed by Krishna. So if you take instruction from Vibhushan, from the sun god, then you get the perfect knowledge. But you cannot go to the sun planet and ask Vibhushan, what Krishna spoke to you. Therefore, Vibhushan transferred the knowledge to his son, Manu. This age is called Vaivasvata Manu. This age. Now, Vibhushan, because he is the son of Vibhushan, therefore this Manu is called Vaivasvata Manu. Vaivasvata Manu. Now the age is going of Vaivasvata Manu. Manu ikha gavi abravit. So Manu also spoke to his son. So in this way, evam parampara praptam, he is giving some examples, but the knowledge has to be received by the parampara. But somehow or other, the parampara being lost, just like I have spoken something to my disciple, he says the same thing to his disciple, he says the same thing to his disciple, but somehow or other, if it is distorted at a certain point, then the knowledge is lost. As soon as any of the disciples in the succession distort the knowledge, then it is lost. That is being explained. Sakalena mohata. The time is very powerful. It changes. That is the time means it changes, kills the original position. You have got experience. You purchase anything, it is very fresh, new, but time will kill it. It will become savvy, it will be useless at a time, in due course of time. So time is fighting. This material time, it is called kala. Kala means death, or kala means the black snake. The black snake destroys. As soon as it touches anything, it is destroyed. Similarly, kala, this kala is also another form of Krishna. So kalena mohata, therefore it is called mohata. It is very powerful. It is not ordinary thing, mohata. It is business is to destroy. So kalena nasta. So by due course of time, because how the kala can destroy. As soon as kala sees that you are distorting, then it will be lost. So don't try to understand Bhagavad Gita from person who are under the influence of Kala, past, present, future. Don't try to understand Bhagavad Gita from so-called rascal philosophers, commentators, and they will write Bhagavad Gita in a distorted way. Somebody will say there was no Krishna, there was no Mahabharata. Somebody says Krishna stressed on this point, Krishna stressed on that point. Somebody will say Krishna stressed on karma, karma kanda. Somebody will say on jnana. Somebody will say yoga. There are so many editions of Bhagavad Gita. Yogic artha, jnana artha, Gita jnana artha. So, the real Gita Jnana is spoken by the Supreme Person. We have to accept that. That is Gita Jnana. Not that I manufacture something as Gita Jnana. What do you mean? Marriage possession, right? That's all right. Rajarsaya means king, Raja, that Imang Parampara Praptam, Imang Rajarsaya Vidu. Rajarsaya means king, Raja and Rishaya. Raja means king. Formerly, the government was monarchy. So, all the kings, all the government headmen, they understood Bhagavad Gita. That is needed. This science, Bhagavad Gita, must be learned by the leaders. The society is managed by the leaders, by the kings, by the brahmanas. That is Vedic culture. The brahmana, they give guidance according to the shastra. And the king is trained up in such a way that he takes instruction from the saintly person and brahmanas and rules over the kingdom. Therefore it was so perfect. We are aspiring after Ramarajya. Why Ramarajya? What is the difference between Ramarajya and this Rajya? There is difference. Ramarajya means responsible government. Even during the time of Lord Ramchandra, one Brahmin's son died. So he went to the king to challenge that what kind of king you are, that in the presence of the father the son is dying. This is responsible government. Responsible government means that a son cannot die before the presence of father. In the Maharaj Yudhishthir's time also, there was no anxiety. Adi bhautik, adi daivi, adi adhyattik. These are stated in the Shastra. They are so free, so carefree. There is no care, no anxiety. Everyone was happy. You will find in the Bhagavatam, as soon as there was enemy attack in the Dwarka city, immediately the kings, the royal family, Krishna's family, Pradyumna, his son, and others immediately go out of the city and combat with the enemies. This was the system. People were very carefree. No care, no anxiety. That is the duty of the government. And how to keep the citizens carefree, that you require authorized instruction. That instruction is Bhagavad Gita. It is the duty of the government officers, the head of the government. They should learn Bhagavad Gita. Here it is said, Evam parampara prat imam rajarsayo vid. The rajas, the kings, the government, they understood. Therefore, the kingdom was so peaceful, without any care for the citizens. The citizens are also trained up very nicely. Brahman, Kshatri, Vaishya, Shudra, everyone is employed. It is the duty of the government to see that everyone is engaged. Otherwise, idle brain will manufacture devil's brain. They will manufacture so many things and there will be chaos. In every country nowadays, all over the world, there is so much unemployment. Why one should be unemployed? He must be trained up in such a way that he is employed, he is engaged. This is the duty. So if you understand Bhagavad Gita, then you will be able to train your students, your citizens, your subordinates, how to remain engaged Just like in our Krishna consciousness society, we are simply after the people whether he is engaged or not. There must be engagement. If one remains idle, then it will be devil's work. Immediately, Maya will dictate, do this nonsense, do that nonsense, do that nonsense. So it is the duty of the Brahmana, it is the duty of the father, it is the duty of the public leader, it is the duty of the government to see that everyone is engaged, everyone is employed. As a Brahmana, he must be engaged in studying Vedic literature or in instructing others. That is Brahmana's business. And Kshatriya's business is to give protection. Just like Krishna was playing as a Kshatriya in Dwarka, as soon as there is some attack, immediately the whole family goes to fight. Krishna, Balaram, Pradyumna, you have seen in the Bhagavatam. Kshatriya's business is to give protection. And Vaishya's business is to give protection to the cows. And Kshatriya's business is to give protection to the citizens, human beings. Similarly, Vaishya's business is to give protection to the cows, not to send them to the slaughterhouse. To see the cows are very well fed, they are fatty, strong, they must be given food, sufficient food. So, because they do not read Bhagavad Gita, they do not know how to maintain the whole society. Therefore, there is now chaos. Therefore, it is needed. Imanga Raja Sayo Vidu. The Raja, the king, the government, or the government must study Bhagavad Gita. Then it will be nice. Imanga Raja and Rishaya. Rishaya will give me, Rishaya means great saintly persons, the Brahmanas. They should give to the government. But who is consulting? The saintly person. Just like we are trying to preach this Bhagavad Gita. We are trying to give the essence of knowledge. Satatam kirtantam mam jatantascha dhirabrata. Mahatma, the symptoms of Mahatma is that he is always engaged in chanting the glories of the Lord. Satatam kirtantam mam. The Bhagavad Gita says that Chaturvida bhajante mam. 4 classes of men comes to worship me. Bhajan means seva. Seva. Seva means bhakti. Samaram kirtanam Vishnu smaranam padasevanam archanam bandha. These are the seva formula. So the devotees are engaged in seva, in service of the Lord. So Chaturvida bhajante mam. Bhajan, this Samanam Kirtan, this is bhajan. And who takes this bhajan program? Sukritino. Sukritino means one who is very pious. And now we are accused of creating nuisance. Bhajan, because we are engaged in bhajan. If we are engaged in drinking wine and playing cards with some prostitute, that is very advanced. That is very advanced society. He is peacefully drinking and playing cards with prostitute. He is advanced. And because he is chanting Hare Krishna, he is creating nuisance. This is the government. Therefore, the first teaching of Bhagavad Gita should be taken by the persons who are going to be elected in the government service. The public should be aware of this. If somebody comes to canvass for votes, you should first inquire whether you have read Bhagavad Gita. Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi sold Bhagavad Gita. Why should you not? Do you know what is Bhagavad Gita? Then I shall give you vote, otherwise get out. Raja Sayovidu. This is required now. If you want to be saved from the crisis that is coming very gradually. Crisis means there will be now in black market you can get things. means eatables, rice, wheat. But if you don't take to Bhagavad Gita, there will be no more, even if you pay back price. Just that time is coming. There will be no more available. There will be no more milk. There will be no more sugar. There will be sugar. There will be no more rice. There will be no more wheat. No more fruits. Then you have to eat meat. Beef soup. Then that will go. Then human soup also gradually come. You have to eat the human being also, carnivores. So it is therefore a great necessity that Rajas Raja, those who are government men, they must study Bhagavad Gita, otherwise don't give them vote. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So initially, the Prabhupada ji told that if you are actually interested in Atma Jnana, then you cannot understand by dash. And if you are interested, you can be. Means how you can attain Atma Jnana.
Hare Krishna, by having perfect knowledge from perfect channel.
Okay, but Prabhupada ji ने इधर कुछ और बताया है. How you can attain Atma Jnana and how you cannot. Yes.
Grace of supreme grace.
Hari Bol. If you are actually interested in Atma Jnana, self-realization, then you cannot understand by your so-called academic education. Yam evaisha vrunute ten labhyate labhya. One who is favored by the Supreme, he can understand Krishna. Why we are giving so much importance to the words of Krishna? So Prabhupada ji was telling that Parampara means Krishna explained this knowledge, and after Krishna, Krishna gave the knowledge to Brahmaji. Brahmaji gives the same knowledge in the disciplic succession. Then Srila Prabhupada ji himself asking, why we are giving so much importance to the words of Krishna? Anyone else? Okay.
This is spiritual, this is not material. All other, so many people, poets have written so many things, they will be lost for hundreds of years. But this is Krishna, this is not different than Krishna, this is spiritual.
Hari Bol. Because this language is absolute, Krishna and Krishna's words, Krishna and Krishna Katha, language or Krishna's words, they are same. Krishna and Krishna's form, we are worshipping Krishna's form, that is also Krishna. Otherwise, we are wasting our time by decorating a doll, a statue, and we are struggling so hard to establish temple of Krishna. Why we cannot understand Krishna? Yes.
Because of our imperfect senses.
Hari Bol. Can you explain those imperfections?
Imperfect senses means we cannot see properly, we cannot hear properly, we cannot touch properly. So we are illusioned by our senses. So we cannot gain perfect knowledge through our senses.
Yeah. Prabhupada ji told the 4 imperfections, 4 kinds of imperfections. Anyone else? Because of these 4 imperfections, we cannot understand Krishna. 4 defects. Yes.
We have limited senses, they will sense imperfectly. He has given one example that when we see the sun every day, but we can't understand what is its size, what is it, how it is going on, how it can give energy so constantly. That is our imperfection.
Okay, that is also correct. Yeah. Antardipu.
Imperfect senses, tendency to get illusion, tendency to commit mistake, and cheating propensity.
Haribo. But in spite of possessing imperfect senses, people are proud of their knowledge. This is our mistake. We are not concerned with the imperfect knowledge. We want perfect knowledge. Therefore, we are going to Bhagavad Gita. What is the difference between material and spiritual? Difference between material and spiritual. Okay. Mic wala. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Prabhupada was saying that if one is a devotee, then he is spiritual. Otherwise, anything other, if he is not a devotee, then everything is material.
Yeah, what is the difference between material and spiritual? Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhupada told that material is kalena, it will be in time, it will be lost, but spiritual is always permanent.
Haribo. Avyaya. Avyaya means that does not perish. Anything material, it perishes, but soul or spiritual, anything, everything that is imperishable. And this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is also spiritual, supreme spirit, abhinna. So, because the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is spiritual, it will never perish. Then Srila Prabhupada told that same thing. So anyone, any other one, if he is not a devotee, he is material karmi. Karmi, jnani, yogi, they are all material. They are trying to utilize material possession, everything. Then he explained about karmi. So, can somebody tell something about karmi, what Srila Prabhupada told about karmis? Yes.
Working hard whole day and wasting time for chapati.
Haribo. Everyone is eating 4 chapatis, but he is working so hard like ass. Ass also can get his share of foodstuff anywhere. The ass is so full that he can get grass anywhere. It is for a few pieces of grass only. He is loading on his back so much burden from the washerman. He thinks that the washerman is giving me the morsel of grass. What is the duty of human form of life? Answer nahi diya.
Prabhupada was saying about Brahma Jignasa, the inquiring about the one's existence. And
Haribo. What is the duty of a Brahmana according to the verdict of Shastra? Yes.
Prabhupada said, duty of Brahmana is to study the Shastra and teach it to others. Then he quoted qualities of Brahmana also. Shamadama tapashvacham shanti rajam jnanam jnanam astigyam jnanakram subhavajam.
Haribo. When the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita will be distorted. Yes, please.
Prabhupada is explaining that over a period of time the knowledge is get distorted because in disciplic succession the Prabhupada is telling that the higher authority tells the same knowledge to disciple, same knowledge to his disciple, like that. Somewhere by Kala it will be distorted. That's why the knowledge get distorted.
As soon as any of the disciple in succession distort the knowledge, then it will be lost. What is another form of Krishna? Prabhupada is telling another form of Krishna. Yes.
Prabhupada told another form of Krishna is Kal, which is compared with black snake, which destroys everything. Same way in feature of Kal, Krishna destroys everything.
Haribo. Then Srila Prabhupada told, don't try to understand Bhagavad Gita from a person dash. Don't try, yes, Puji.
Don't try to understand Bhagavad Gita from a person who is influenced by Kala, past, present and future.
Haribo. Don't try to understand Bhagavad Gita from so-called rascal philosophers, commentators, and they will write Bhagavad Gita in a distorted way. Somebody will say there was no Krishna, there was no Mahabharata. Somebody say Krishna stressed on this point, Krishna stressed on that point. Somebody will say Krishna stressed on karma, karma kanda. Somebody will say on jnana, and somebody will say yoga. There are so many editions of Bhagavad Gita. That is why we should not try to understand Bhagavad Gita from the people who are influenced by Kala. Then Srila Prabhupada, yesterday only we celebrated Ram Rajya. So what Srila Prabhupada told about Ram Rajya? Yes. Sakyaras Prabhu.
राम राज्य मतलब रिस्पॉन्सिबल गवर्नमेंट प्रभुपाद बोल रहे थे.
हरिबो. प्रभुपाद जी ने क्या उदाहरण दिया राम राज्य के बारे में?
प्रभुपाद जी बोल रहे थे कि पिताजी के उपस्थिति में बेटे का मृत्यु होता नहीं था.
हरि वो आदि भौतिका, आदि दैविका, आध्यात्मिका, ये सारे क्लेश वहां पर नहीं रहता था. ओके, एंड हाउ टू कीप द सिटीजन्स केयर फ्री, हाउ टू कीप द सिटीजन्स केयर फ्री. Yes.
By electing a government, by electing a MLA who have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita.
Hari Bol. How to train the people to engage them fully busy? Anyone? Yes.
King should train as per Varnashram Dharma, that is Brahman should be trained, Brahman should study Vedic literature. King should see also that everybody is doing their own duties. And he goes on to, Prabhupada goes on to describe that king protects the citizens and the Vaishyas protects the cow. So everybody should do their own duties. Then otherwise idle mind is a devil's workshop and there will be chaos. And because of that chaos, there will be care. So there should be care free. For that, they should, be well engaged. King says like.
Hari Bol. So what is the duty of Vaishya? Vaishya का duty है, ला पीछे पीछे.
To protect the cows, similar to like Kshatriyas protect people and all, Vaishya should protect the cows.
Yes, the answer is correct. But how to protect the cows? Prabhupada क्या बताते?
By not to, yeah.
Hari Bol. Vaishya's business is to give protection to the cows, not to send them to the slaughterhouse. To see cows are very well fed, they are fatty, strong, that they must be given food, sufficient food. That is the duty of a Vaishya. Then Prabhupada told about the Seva formula. What is Seva formula? Seva formula nahi. Yes.
Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archana Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. Prabhupada said this bhajan means seva. So this is the seva formula that Prabhupada has quoted.
Hari Bol. Then final last question. He told about crisis. So what Srila Prabhupada told about the crisis? In future there will be so many crises. What are the crises Srila Prabhupada told? Okay, Prabhuji. Go there. Huh? Acha, yeah, okay. Yes, Prabhu. Not, yeah, you try.
And I heard that there will be human shops and there will be no grains and vegetable.
Haribo. Crisis means there will be, now in black market you can get things, means eatable rice, wheat, but if you don't take to Bhagavad Gita, there will be no more, even if you pay black price, that time is coming, there will be no more available, there will be no milk, there will be no more sugar, there will be no more rice, no more wheat, no more fruits, then you have to eat meat, beef shop, then that will go on. Then human shop also gradually come. You have to eat the human being also, carnivorous. So it is therefore a great necessity that Rajarshayo Vidu, Raja, those who are government men, they must study Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, don't give them vote. Srila Prabhupada ki Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे।